Son shit, y'all ready?
I hope y'all are. Woof. This episode. This is the election result episode. We'll figure out the title later. I mean, by the time y'all hear this, there'll be a title. I don't know if it'll be a catchy title, but it'll be a title. This, oh my God. Man, yesterday, there was tears and cheers. There was slobbing and sour faces out there. There was some people who was out here upset. Then there were other people who were happy. And what you also had are excuses on why Kamala lost, which is crazy, right? By the way, also, before I even go any further, I apologize for the last couple of episodes where I think the volume wasn't proper. We're working on the adjustment. We'll adjust things better this time. But anyway, I'm hearing all of these excuses. Well, you know why she lost? Look, I joked about it on my show. Here's why she lost. Them votes ain't count. Them votes won't pop it. She ain't get them votes. That's why she lost. That's how you lose. She lost because of that. There's no other way to put that. That's why she lost. Why you lose? I ain't get the votes. She ain't get the votes. Did y'all see that map? Have you seen them? Don't worry about them numbers. Them numbers are misleading. Look at that map. That whole South said no. 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 Most of the North said no. What I like to always call it, Middle America. Middle America said no. That's why she lost. It wasn't close. Now here's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Here's the hard code truth. Number one, I told you this during the Democratic primaries when it was like, yo, this dude is still miles ahead of everyone and he hadn't even went into the primaries. This dude is going to court. This dude is on trial. This dude is doing everything and ain't even dealing with politics. He's trying to stay out of jail and he was winning heavily. I think Nikki Haley was the only person that was in double digits. Remember that? And that was 12. She was at 12 or 13 or something most of the time. It wasn't high number. It wasn't like she was there. It was nah. Nikki Haley was the closest to Donald Trump. And he wasn't even at these primaries. He wasn't technically running. You know what I'm saying? He was doing something else. He was preoccupied and was ahead of everybody. And what was I telling y'all every time I would talk about those primaries and bring that fact up? I'm like, yo, he gonna win. He is going to win. He is going to win because first of all, people felt he was cheated. Now there's this whole thing of they coming at his head. They going at him. They trying to stop him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's the vibe. Then you add the fact that this man got shot at twice. He was going to win. It's a hard cold fact. I was saying, y'all remember I told y'all, I've been talking so good about this dude to the point that the phones and whatever else's devices around me have been listening, and then now it's like, hey, here's some good stuff about Trump. Hey, here's some good stuff about the GOP. Hey. I'm like, nah, dog, I'm not a Republican. I'm just an observer who is honest about this. I could see it. You could see it. We felt it. We knew what was what. 4 months ago, Kamala comes in and replaces Biden. Runs a decent campaign for the short time span, right? Let's not overhype this up like it's the greatest, or let's not downplay it like it was the worst. It was a decent campaign. You have a bunch of reasonings in the aftermath on why it didn't work out, and a lot of them are coincidental. A lot of them are just luck of the draw. You know what I'm saying? Something that you can, oh, by the way, I'm going to fall back on that. Yeah, lucky for you. I'm telling people, I've been telling people, they told you what it was when it was. Nobody wanted to listen. Black men, white men, Hispanic men told you what it was from the gate. I ain't voting for no woman. They told you from the gate they weren't voting for any women. That's a good portion of your votes gone. They told you that. Nobody wanted to pay no attention. Oh man, y'all will vote for that before you. Yeah. Yes, they will. They were telling you that. You didn't want to listen. Then there's us as black people. Oh, she ain't black. I can tell you one thing. There's also a group of white people that was like, she's black enough for us not to vote for her. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might not think she's black, but she's black enough for us not to vote for her. And that's where that went. You can play the game all you want. That's a solid thing. And the black people who were coming up with a million reasons to not vote for her just should have kept it real. I'm not voting for her. I don't really need a reason. A lot of times you don't need a reason. We've all met people we don't like. They're nice people. They're kind people. There's just something about them we can't even put our finger on it. It's like, man, they're everything I like about people. They like the same stuff I like. They're into the same, but it's just that I don't mess with them. It's a thing of humans. We do that. You ain't even gotta be a mean person. You ain't gotta say nothing negative. You ain't gotta be negative. It's something about them. It ain't even gotta be like, they're white, they're black, they're fat, they're skinny, they're trans, they're straight, they're whatever. No, it's just something about them. We can't put our finger on it, but it's there. And then again, could be the nicest people in the world, could be the best people in the world. Other people are sitting around going, I don't know how y'all don't get along. Like, I don't know what it is about why you can't. Like, in any other universe, y'all would be homies like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. And that was some people's vibe about her. They couldn't figure it out. And then there were some people who felt that they had to manufacture reasons. So then they would just make up reasons. And you're like, that's stupid. That really can't be a reason. Well, I mean, I just don't. Stick with that. That's a human thing. That's a human trait. That's a human flaw. We just don't. You know what I mean? But when you say stuff like, I didn't vote for her because she ain't black, that's just stupid. I told y'all that was stupid from the beginning. And here's how wild it is. Say she had said, I'm Jamaican. Those same people who were like, she ain't black, would have been the people going, oh, so what? She act like she ain't black. Jamaicans black. They think you black. You look black. They gonna treat you like you black. There was no win with them people. Again, that was just a cornball excuse. And I understood the cornball excuse at first. I rationalized it at first. It was one of those things where you didn't want the Democratic Party placing her in front of you going, hey, vote for her because she's black. Those group of people, I get their argument. And then there's a whole other group of people, that's not their argument. That was not their argument. The black was an easy excuse. Oh, she ain't black. But then it's like, okay, let's pull that off the table, push that off the table. Because again, your argument isn't with those people who are like, oh, no, y'all didn't just throw this black woman in front of us and go, ooh, vote for her because she's black. That's their argument, and I get that. Your argument isn't that. Your argument is, so if she was saying she was Indian, oh yeah, I still wouldn't vote for her. Exactly. Just keep it real. Stop using these excuses. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to find out where she flipped up at. Where did she fail? She didn't fail. One, she wasn't going to win anyway because the people weren't going to let her. This was a vengeance. This was payback. This was redemption. You knew that. We knew that. The numbers didn't lie. It was not close. 2, yes, sex and race are a factor. For all these people trying to say, oh no, it's not, stop lying to yourself. It's a factor. It's a factor. I've seen some people, I've heard some people go, well, a lot of it has to do with what happened in Carolina. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You had no intentions on voting for her before North Carolina storm. Before that. And let's say it didn't even happen. Or it didn't happen as tragic as it did. Just a little something. A little damage here and there. A couple of shops lost some windows. Basements was flooded. A couple of cars were damaged a little bit. It won't nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing too crazy. Nothing more than a heavy downpour. We all go through it wherever you live at. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I ain't voting for it. That's not the reason why. Let's go even further and say FEMA stepped in and did beyond expectations. They overcompensated. Oh man, they did all that because they trying to make it look good. Man, I ain't falling for your stuff. Again, there's no win. You have these people going, well, she wasn't the right candidate. You know who they should have got? They should have got Michelle Obama. They could get Claire Huxtable. They could get Oprah Winfrey. They can get Viola Davis. They can get Maya Angelou. They can get Jesus Mama. That black woman would not win. Sorry. That's just what it is. Ann Coulter told Wampasompi, I can't stand that brother, don't know his name, so I try not to know it. But she told him to his face, through the Zoom, through the camera joint, you say everything right. You do everything right. The problem is you're not white. She kept it real. You're qualified 100%, except for that 1%. You're 99% straight. I love everything about you except for that. That is the problem. That thing. That your skin. I can't get past that. Now you add sex to that. Yeah. So all these people trying their best to tell you, oh, it's really not about that. It's really about that. These men, salute to the men who kept it real, who said, yo, I ain't trying to, I don't want my woman running the country. They don't want no woman boss. There's dudes who can't stand that somebody over them at their job is a female. Then they got a chick running the country, and what the difference is, they don't have a say at it at their job. They have a say at it over here. Oh, I got to vote. No, you ain't getting in. You ain't gonna be my president. It's there. It's there. What do we, you know what I'm saying? It's the thing that keeps America, America. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff about, oh man, if she would have did this, if she would have did that, if she would have went here, if she would have went there and had conversations. For what? To do what? You're asking somebody, prove to me that you're about what I don't think you're about. How do I change your mind if you already have the concept of I'm not dealing with you in your head? We've all been there. We've all been there on both sides. There have been times where we could do our best. But if they're already looking at us like, I'm not dealing with you, they're not dealing with you. Everybody's been there. Everybody has been there. You know what I'm saying? You could be one of the best students. If that teacher, for whatever reason, doesn't like you, they'll give you the great grades, but they're not going to shout you out all the time. They're going to, unless they have to, they're not really rocking with you. There are people who get passed up on promotions that exceed expectations, but it's something about them that the boss doesn't like. And you get overlooked. And it has nothing to do with sex or race. It's that thing. It should not be your job to try to sway them in that manner. And I understand somebody listening going, that's exactly, but it's really not. Not when your situation is, I have no intentions on voting for a woman. She can't sway you. What is she gonna do? Show her penis to you? Like, I was playing around, I really got a penis, look. Nah. If your thought is outright, most of these men told you, I ain't voting for no woman. There's no show she can go to. There's nothing she can say. There's no policy that she can present to you that is going to sway you. You said what you said. You stood on it. That is what it is. They're like, she didn't do this. She was on Fox putting down business. She put her business down over there in Fox when she was on that interview. Rocked them to the point that they had to actually fall back and go, okay, we messed up a couple of times. This is what happened. They knew that she put them in their place. and handled herself and conducted her business properly. Didn't sway you. Because it was never going to sway you. If there is anything that I think that she messed up on, if I could say that was opportunities to sway, it was the fact that she allowed Trump to not have any more debates. You had the Democrat people going, yeah, the son, because he's scared. He's scared. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she you see how she was checking him? That's what's up. Cool. That's a victory. That's a moral victory. The problem is you now have lost the fact that people on that side aren't checking for you now. Those town hall meetings with CNN, Republicans aren't checking for that. Trump supporters aren't checking for that. The same way when he was doing his town hall meetings, Democrats weren't checking for that. I ain't trying to hear that. At a debate, you want to hear them face off with each other. What's your point of view? What's your point of view? This is what I'm proposing. This is what I'm proposing. Oh, I think their ideas are flawed because you got to look about this, and this, and the third. She was so good on the first one, and he was so shook on the first one that we didn't get two more. That didn't benefit her. Kamala lost out because now you don't get the world, you don't get the country to watch. Because when it was a debate, it's on every channel. Those town hall meetings, they ain't on every channel. That debate, you can't avoid it if you're watching television. It's there. Unless you're going to just turn the television off. You lost out on telling the country your ideas. When people say, oh, she has no policies, did you go to her rallies? No. Then you don't know. And I told people that at first. I've been telling y'all that. This whole thing has been ran by social media, and social media's whole thing is instant gratification, triggering, and clickbait. Everything they choose, we've talked about everything but their policies. His crowds are small. He rambles on. That's Trump, right? He's saying the same thing. He's spewing hate. That's Trump. She code switching. The prompter must have went off, and then you could tell she was like a deer in headlights. She ain't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? She ain't really got nothing going on. Look, she out here with Megan Thee Stallion. They twerking on stage. What? Glorilla in them. She got, you know what I'm saying? This BET light all of a sudden. What? Like, yo, These people are speaking for anywhere from 30 to 40, maybe even an hour. You mean to tell me that they're just not saying their policies at all? Those are the clips that conveniently don't make it for us to debate about. As people who are watching it on social media, or people who are watching it on YouTube, or people who are hearing it from co-workers and friends, or just strangers who are having conversations about politics. Think about how many times you've heard someone say, well, he said XYZ. This is what I'm saying about a real policy. None of this whole thing about the immigrants. None of this, Haitians are doing this. None of this, they're taking blacks' jobs. Don't talk about real policies that will fix America's economy. What is he doing to fix America's economy? What is he doing for the insurance? None of that. Same thing for her. You weren't hearing it. That wasn't the stuff that they were debating about. It was the meaningless stuff. And the meaningless stuff is how you had somebody like Trump at a debate going, they're eating the cats and dogs. Because he even got caught up in the instant gratification, the clickbait, and the aha-ness of it. And then spoke about it at a presidential debate, and coincidentally, that outshined the whole debate. That's where we are. If you want to talk about anything when it comes to this politics thing, what we need is for our news networks to stop being partisan, stop taking sides. What we need is when they speak to politicians to start fact-checking them instantly. What they're doing now is everyone is eating off of sound bites and aha moments. They get to say it on TV. Nobody is checking them. You fact check these people and you put it out there in these shows where you're like, yo, they said their piece. This is really what happened. Boom, boom, boom. Matter of fact, be more so upfront about what these rules and laws are. hey, this is what they're planning to do. This is what it means will happen to you. Things look different. Will it change what happened? No. Spanish people voted against their best interests. They had the Chris Rock moment. Remember the joke when Chris Rock had the joke about yin yang twins and all this and this, and the rappers calling women all out their names, and you're at the club and chicks are banging to this joint, they dancing, they know the words, they out here chanting it, and you're like, yo, he calling women blah 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 blah. Oh, he ain't talking about me though. And then they get back to dancing. Spanish people did that. They were like, oh, we're not those Spanish people. They ain't talking about me. I'ma vote for them. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all, I knew there's a Puerto Rican I know who was like, until the whole thing about the garbage island, was a Trump supporter. She doesn't see herself as a target for whatever is about to jump off. But she is. She's a target too. They voted against their interests. Black people voted against their interests. Whether you know it or not, when they start really breaking down who did and who didn't vote for Kamala, what you're gonna find out also is a lot of gays, lesbians also voted for Trump. They're not out here saying that they did it, but you know they did. These numbers are ridiculous. I don't know if y'all seen these. Again, look at these states. There are states where there are far more women than men in certain cities, certain areas. And if women were about the womanhood and the body, these numbers shouldn't have been that way. It should have been a lot closer in those states. It should have been a lot closer in those areas, but it wasn't. They were out here reporting she was losing in almost every area that Biden won 4 years ago. What are we talking about? Then there's the fact that people didn't even vote. Then they're like, some people didn't even vote. He won the popular vote by millions. And when I say millions, you might be thinking like 2 or 3. No, it was up there. People didn't even vote. They didn't vote. They chose to not even get in. They was like, she had no chance. She never had a chance. It was a good run. I think a lot of people thought they were going to have the same Obama effect. Obama will be an anomaly in the legacy of this country. It will always be white dudes. Trump has stopped 2 women from becoming president. The person who stopped him from getting reelected and doing a second term back to back was another white dude. Another white dude. Who, by the way, wasn't that good. His joints wasn't that good. It was just, hey, let's go back to what we know. And that's what people were familiar with and they trusted. And he got the vote. Had it had been a woman, same thing. He would have been president 2 times in a row and we would have kept it moving. Here's an even crazier part. Trump even thought that he might not make it. It was reported that he had no speech ready. He had nothing going. And if you watch the last week or so, when you were watching this, the energy wasn't there. He wasn't that same dude. He was definitely feeling like, yo, I think this might not go my way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it was, yo, how does this work? He didn't have his ear to the streets. I saw somebody say that I just didn't like the way she was talking down to us. She's an intelligent black woman. Lawyer, educated, politician, educated. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to sound like I'm being disrespectful. Trump's best lines are, it was really this. It's the best it ever's been. Man, you ought to see it. He talks like a grandfather telling stories, fish stories. He's out here big fishing. That's what he sounds like. It was the biggest you've ever seen. It was the greatest. It was the best of it. You know what I'm saying? That's him. Versus a woman who is trying to articulate what's going on. trying to articulate what will happen if he becomes president, trying to articulate what she's trying to bring to the table. I had people go, well, it was the economy. The economy, we all understood the economy was going to be crazy once COVID hit. Once COVID was over, all these companies were going to get greedy. Both Republicans and Democrats are in these people's pockets, so they allowed it to happen. Republicans weren't stepping up going, ooh, we need to stop this either. Everybody, it wasn't until it was like, okay, now we need to, it's almost election time. Let's try to blame it on somebody. Biden's the president. It's his fault. Like I said, you could blame a million things on her, and if the economy was straight, she'd still lose. She'd still lose. If immigration was quote unquote not bad, she'd still lose. If those people if those Republicans were able to have voted, and then they put up the border and decreased everything, and it wasn't, and they were deporting people back and they were doing whatever they would, she'd still lose. The fact that people are going, these are the reasons, she'd still lose. And you'd be trying to find another reason until it boiled down to the point of, I just can't see myself voting for a woman. Which is what it was, which is what it always was. And I think, salute to black people who kept it real. I'm not voting for a woman. White people are still trying to come up with reasons to make it sound like it's not that. It's not about that. It's about that. It's about that. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely about that. Your reason for not voting for Hillary is she's a criminal. You know what I'm saying? She was doing this. She did that. We got a guy who's now the president with felonies under his belt. So the crime concept and the criminality of it isn't an issue. It was an excuse for her. Hillary. It wasn't an issue. It was an excuse. It was a convenient excuse that oh, by the way, yeah, and she's a criminal. Black people stopped real quick. Black men, when it was debunked, man, you know how she was arresting people for weed and all these people. First of all, it wasn't even that many people. Second, it was the 90s when weed was still illegal, super illegal, to the point that it was disproportionately, it was downright almost racist. Like the way you get caught with weed versus somebody with cocaine. And we all know cocaine is a harder drug than weed. Yeah. So it was already racistly biased. But then the fact that she was coming up with programs to make sure that first-time offenders could get out of going to jail. Then there was the point that she was like, yo, I've been fighting to legalize marijuana. You throw this at a black person, black men, and they go, okay, yeah, I still ain't voting for no woman. They keep it a buck. When you break all of that stuff that they're trying to throw at these convenient excuses, you know what I'm saying? Push them joints out knock them joints out the way. It all boils down to the same thing. I ain't voting for no woman, and you respect that. And you keep it a buck. She never was going to win. If it was Biden, he was never going to win. It had nothing to do with the economy. If the economy was the greatest it had ever been in 80 years, if we were looking at an economy that was booming pre 1929, the best that it's ever been. We are super in the black. Everybody is eating. And this woman is running for president against a guy who this country, a good portion, more than half, felt was cheated out of his presidency. Still losing. Still losing. And that's whether it was Kamala or Biden. This was a redemption vote. They went out here and drove. There were people who probably didn't vote for him at all last election thinking he was going to just get it. Oh, wow, that was too close. Oh, maybe he did get cheated. They came and drove. Georgia wasn't a question. Florida wasn't a question. The states that people were like, they weren't questions this time. 100%. This was their joint. You looked at the map, red. She completely was obliterated. This was redemption. And we could talk all day about the voters who voted him in. That's easy. We could do that. But this isn't about the people who voted him in. This is about the fact that people are coming up with excuses on why she lost. When the big picture on why she lost was there were people out there who were not going to let that man lose again, no matter what. And the sad part of it is, instead of them just saying that, they come up with excuses. She was obliterated. This was a destruction. This was the dream team of 92 playing the worst high school team in America. Not even college. The worst high school team in America. You know what I mean? This was how bad this spanking was. This was child's play, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. It wasn't close. It wasn't close. And again, it's not the people who actually went out and voted for her's fault. It's not the people who voted for Trump's fault. It's those other people who most of them people who chose not to vote were telling you it was for her. It's the fact that you had fathers, and I'm going to say that like that, fathers, more than anything, who probably were like, yeah, I'm Kamala, I'm Team Kamala. They got up in that booth and thought about it. Like, I'm really not. You're going to find out when they start breaking these votes down, the youth turned their backs on her. The younger generation, that same generation that propelled Obama, didn't do it this time for her. Either they sat out or they switched sides. You're going to find out the alphabet community, the gay, lesbian, whatever, same thing. Turned their backs or didn't vote at all. I saw some of those breakdowns. The suburbs came out and was voting for Kamala. Salute to the suburbs. The urban setting was either 50-50 or heavily Trump. Urban setting is anywhere from these, do they even still call them hipsters? Or that crowd? Or the millennials? Or the whatevers? In the hood. And the hood was already telling you what it was going to do. The hood was already telling you they ain't voting for her. The hood had already told you they was pro-Trump. He go to jail like we do. Look at this. Look at his charges, son. He gave us the stimmies. He about that life, son. The hood was right. Yeah, they was gone. They weren't part of it. So then that leaves the cool kids. The cool kids that want to be seen and trending and da-da-da-da-da. Nah. They tell you Taylor Swift has over something millions of followers. If we had to take that, you would say 75 to 80% of those people are adults. So that's still millions of adults. She lost by probably a Taylor Swift fan base worth of people. Beyonce has just as many, if not more, fans than Taylor Swift, and far more adult fans than Taylor Swift, because most of Beyonce fans aren't even under 18. Most of Beyonce fans, I don't even think, are under 25. So those are all grown, most of the time, women and gay men. Let's just keep it a buck. We're keeping it real, right? Keep it real. Gay men and women, millions, double digits. She lost by double digits in the millions. Take Taylor Swift adult fans and Beyonce's fans, merge them together, and yes, of course, there's going to be some cross-pollinating. I'm a fan of both. Yeah, okay, cool. That's still a chunk of America that didn't show up, apparently. Or they were like, never mind, I'm going to go Trump. Some Beyonce fans are like, yeah, that's my girl, but I ain't voting for her. Taylor Swift fans, yeah, that's my girl, but I ain't voting for her. Those are the people. That's the reason why she lost also. Those people that we, for whatever reason, we just assume would ride. LeBron's fans. LeBron was like, oh man, after that thing with Puerto Rico, I'm throwing my joint in. And the wild part is, it had to be Puerto Rico. It had nothing to do with the fact of the abortion thing, because then after she lost, she was like, I feel bad for my girls. Dude, that wasn't even your reason for rocking with her. It was Puerto Rico. You was up in the, so you was really up in the air at first. I ain't here to talk about him. What I'm saying is, he has another gang of millions of fans. And with LeBron and knowing, looking at my 18-year-old, they aren't LeBron fans. So LeBron fans are somewhere between 25 and up. So again, that's just mostly adults. And most of those adults were like, you my guy, you my GOAT. Not on this one with you, homie. I'm sorry. I got to go the other way. Those people. And as I just said, my son is 18. He voted. He was heartbroken. Middle of the night, 4 in the morning. He as much as I know it was a cold, I got a cold. He was something that was like, he was a little heartbroken. And was trying to figure out, how does this work? What he doesn't understand is, he's young. You're still voting off of ideologies. You're still voting off of idealisms. You're still voting off of wanting justice, wanting righteousness, wanting to make the country better. You haven't become selfish yet. You know what I'm saying? These people who are voting, they are voting from selfish places. You know what I'm saying? You're still caught up into this, let's make this world a better place. Let's make this country great. You know what I'm saying? And there's a piece of them that's like, yo, should I even do this again? There's a lot of people who are like, should they even vote again? Like, I came out and this happened. You can't be that way. What you have to do is be like Trump supporters were 4 years ago. I can't believe this happened. Next time it ain't gonna happen again. We ain't gonna let this happen again. That's what you have to do. You have to basically get your peoples together. Get it sparking. Watch what's happening and hope for the best, but prepare for the crazy. Because it's going to be a wild 4 years. If the way that they're expecting it to happen, he gets sworn in on January, they got to drop everything's going to already be in the process. By the time he swears in, and boom, the next day, by the end of January, they would have already proposed stuff, written out stuff. The book is already, the Project 2025 is already there. They're grabbing pieces that they're going to take first and foremost. February, March, stuff's going to just start jumping. Stuff is going to be jumping. The thing when it comes to the border and the immigrants, that's instantaneous. As soon as it's hit and they go out here and go, and now we're giving this to ICE, and we're giving this to the border people, and we're giving this to immigration people, we're giving it to whoever we need to give it to. By that summer, that's going to be getting down. They're going to add on to the abortion stuff. By that summer, Republicans own everything. Everything. Judges are going to retire. They're going to come in. They're going to be coming up with new moves, new joints. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff about the cops being, all of this stuff is going to jump off. The destruction of our educational system, that might take a couple of more years. So if you don't vote the right people in during the midterms, that's going to take effect within his 4 years. There's going to be so much that's going to happen in his 4 years, and most of that's going to happen in his first 2 years. What I'm saying is, people voted selfishly. That's what I'm trying to tell my kid. They voted selfishly. They didn't want a woman running things. They'd rather see this man destroy the fabric of our democracy than have a woman in charge. And they can come up with a million excuses, and every time that you have something to counter that excuse, it all boils down to this. Well, I'm just saying, man, I just ain't want it. Which again, is okay. It's fine. Keep it real. And again, you don't have to look at her. You look at Hillary. Every single thing that you thought Hillary was, Donald Trump is at this moment. So the excuses that you used to not vote for her didn't apply with him because he was going against another female. Let's figure it out. What makes his situation that you were projecting on Hillary, which is now an actual fact on him, different? His opponent. You see what I'm saying? And let's say it was a black man, it would still be the opponent. Mexican man, it would still be the opponent. White man, now that's a closer race again. That's a closer race again. Had they, matter of fact, I could tell you now, if it had been Tim Walz, we wouldn't even have a problem. Like, it would be different. That's the problem. You guys are so, you have people who are so into trying to tell you what it's not versus going, yeah, that's what it is. There's nothing wrong with going, yeah, that's what it is. Again, that's why I loved the fact that black men kept it that way. That's why I love the fact that Mexican men kept it that way. And for the white men who did keep it that way, salute to them. Also, it's going to be a while 4 years, y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all. I can tell y'all one thing. After the after your man gets his what you call a joint? What you call a joint when you get sworn in? Right now, the words is missing me right now. After he gets that joint, I can tell you what won't happen. Won't be nobody storming the Capitol on Kamala's behalf. I'm doing this for Kamala. Ain't gonna be none of that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be none of that. There was no buildings burning down. There were no violence erupting. Just a bunch of people running around sad and upset and hurt that the country turned on itself. Definitely, if the results had been different, this week would be crazy. Trust me on that. They will tell you that themselves. Trump supporters themselves were willing to tell you, oh, it better happen, because if it don't, woof, yeah. Try to get your money up. Invest. Do whatever you can. And we'll see. And hopefully, all this works out. The economy gets better. Prices go down. Inflation stops. Thank you to the people who voted. Thank you to the people who voted the way you voted. Thank you to the people who kept it real. To all you fakers out there who changed your mind at the very last moment or didn't vote at all, y'all suckers. I don't know who y'all. I don't even think y'all listening. And if y'all are listening, yeah, you know what I mean? I've seen people go, yo, there's people who have unfollowed me, or there's people who this and this over political views. I've given you my political view. I've seen people try to roll up on me. Man, it seems like, well, so whose side are you on? Nobody's. I've been telling y'all, I'm watching this game play out. I told y'all back in the day, 4 years ago, when the insurrection joint jumped off, I was like, yo, y'all know he gonna become president again. They gonna make sure he gonna become president again. You can pull it up. You can pull it up. I told people this was gonna happen. This is not a shocker to me. Thank y'all for listening, though. See how you just do that? You just thank y'all for listening, though. Like it was. But anyway, thank y'all for listening. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys. We will get back to the regular history joint. I just had to say, this had to be said. So thank y'all. Now, with that being said, because there is no clip, let's give y'all hit the clip like this. They say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and just be the very best that you can be, show the world that. Let them see who you are. Let your shine be radiant. You know what I mean? For the whole world to see. Be the very best person that you can be. Do your thing. Y'all be safe. Peace.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.